Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to BWP Encore Radio! I am one of your hosts. I am the hardest working and the best looking referee in British wrestling history, Max Davis. And alongside me is the homoerotic BWP technical saviour to the masses, Chris Dutton. CD famously. Is it CD famously?
Yeah, and I'm glad you put that one in, Max. I was going to correct you there. How are you, Max? I haven't spoken to you for absolutely ages. Not since before the last show. You know, since you had something so busy, something else other than wrestling. So that was somehow more important than being head referee at Britannia Wrestling Promotions. But I digress. Thank you very much for that introduction, Max Davis.
You're very welcome, mate. Yeah, it's good to hear from you, although I have been trying to avoid you, if truth be told.
That's just because you know that my opinion counts.
Your opinion counts just as much as anyone else's, mate.
And it just so happens to be the right one, but let's not get into that just yet. I mean, it's all been kicking off on Facebook, and I'm sure we'll probably touch on it at some point during the show.
Yeah, of course we will, yeah. Okay, before we go into the review of the El Bandito Memorial Tournament, Chris, what were you saying about me maybe not being there?
Well, I mean, truth be told, I would have assumed that, you know, being Britannia Wrestling Promotions is, you know, head referee, that for such a prestigious tournament as the El Bandito, you know, I kind of thought you would have been there, and I got to say, I'm quite disappointed in you, Max. Really, I mean, you missed a hell of a show.
Well, you know, unfortunately, I can't make all dates. I do get double booked, and I do have other things that I have to attend. So unfortunately, I couldn't make it. So you saying that I'm flacking there, Chris?
Well, I mean, I'm aware that you've watched the show back on demand, and I mean, yeah, honestly, I do a fantastic job editing that, but that's not the point, Max. The point is, it's not the same as being there, and, you know, there were things that happened on that show we really could have done with you there. I mean, you have authority. I mean, not necessarily during the Grand Central Rumble match, but most of the time, you have authority.
So you're basically calling me a slacker, right?
In so many words, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, I tell you what I did notice whilst I was watching the show back, Chris, was the production. Where was the screen? Where was the stage wasn't set up how it normally is. There was no screen. You're supposed to be head of production, and what happened?
Well, all I will say there, Max, is if a certain
I wasn't there, and Sax wasn't there. What you think you can do as you want, fucking willy-nilly?
All I will say is as far as I'm aware, a certain person who's very close to me right now was on the bill to be there on the night, and on the night they weren't there. Therefore, I didn't have the tools that I required to do my exceptional job that I usually do. And I don't think we need to name names, do we, Max?
Well, obviously you're referring to me, but as head of production, you should have made sure that there was tools there.
Why don't, I mean, obviously...
I tell you what, why don't I be BWP head referee and your assistant of head production?
I tell you what, Max, why don't you tell our listeners where you were that evening?
I was attending a charity function where I was presenting a cheque to St. John Ambulance.
And who was that cheque on behalf of?
On behalf of the RAOB, the Royal Antediluvian Order of Buffaloes.
Yeah, but that's not even a real thing, Max. Come on, I mean, this is professional wrestling. This is as real as it gets. Aren't you a little bit... If you're a little bit guilty, I seem to remember this happened last year as well. Is this a thing?
It did. It happened last year because it fell on the same weekend.
I'm starting to think you're allergic to that trophy. Because this is the second year now, Max. So we just you know, book you off for next year as well whilst we're at it.
You know what? I've never seen that trophy because that's a brand new trophy that only came into circulation last year.
It's a beautiful trophy. And I'll tell you something, it's probably the only trophy I've ever seen in British professional wrestling that has not been smashed within 5 minutes of it being presented.
Yeah, like the old El Bandito Memorial Trophy that Danzig actually smashed to bits in the middle of the ring.
Well, that was more of a plaque than a trophy, and this trophy is. I mean, Max, you have to see it in person. I mean, obviously the people that were in attendance saw it. Absolutely beautiful trophy. Must have cost Steve Saxon an absolute fucking fortune.
Well, you know, he does like to splash the cash, does old Steve. Hopefully, I will get to see that trophy next year if Steve books a show on a different weekend to that one, because I won't be able to make it again if he booked it on the same weekend.
They don't need you, Max. We need you more than they do. Someone else can hold the check. Priorities, Max, priorities.
It's a tough one for me, Chris, because, you know, there's so many people wanting my body. I just can't be in all these places at the same time.
Well, I tell you what, Max, and I'm hoping, you know, since you've watched this on demand, and I mean, obviously, when you're in the heat of the moment and you're being, a head referee, I imagine it's probably hard to keep track of every little thing that goes on, but you've been studying this show. I hope you've probably watched it, 5 or 6 times already. I am expecting comprehensive notes and match information from you tonight, Max. Our listeners need to know everything that went down.
But we don't want to give it away too much, do we? I mean, we can analyse the matches, but we don't want to tell them exactly what happened.
Max, it's a review podcast. We're telling everybody what happened.
Otherwise, they won't pay their money to go to the BWP video on demand, onto the BWP network, which you put a lot of time and hard work into, and they won't pay their money if they already know, because this goes out for free.
Yeah,
Come on, Chris, where's your business sense?
They won't go to BritanniaWrestling.co.uk and then click on the VOD link and subscribe for just £3.99. That's the price of a pint, guys. And they won't watch my fabulous face producing what I consider to be an absolutely fantastic tournament.
It was indeed a very, very fantastic tournament. And I think we should go into it now, Chris.
I think we should.
Yeah, so the 4 quarterfinals, the lineups were Dylan Roberts versus Pyro, Sonna Dursum versus Ry Lloyd, Dean McManus versus Grill, and Don Micho versus Dave Del Vecchio. Match number 1 was Dean McManus versus Grill. Both men 17 stone plus.
And the rest.
and the rest. Yeah, as expected, Chris, this wasn't going to be a technical masterclass. This one was all down to pure strength and power.
Yes, it was. This mean streak, this different side we've been seeing of Dean McManus recently, a side that I kind of admire in a way. But I mean, really, this was a very hard-hitting contest. He really, really worked over Drill. I mean, I saw Drill walk through that curtain after that match, and you could see that he was hurting. And this was only his first match. I mean, spoilers, this is his first match of 3.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Johnny B. Goodman for this match as well, Chris, because during one point, Dean had Drill in an abdominal stretch, and he was using the ropes for leverage. And they was eventually spotted by Johnny, and Johnny broke that hold up. Fair play to Johnny. He's still new to refereeing, and he did this show all by himself. And I watched it back, and I couldn't pick a fault with what he did that night. So props to Johnny, even if you are on the TV.
To be fair, Max, I mean, it's not like he really had a choice, is it? Because, you know, you weren't there. But I know I give Johnny a lot of slack. I give him a lot of slack because Johnny sold out and went to do the TV show. But in all honesty, you know, Johnny had to do a whole night's refereeing, and Max, you can attest to how difficult that job is.
Yeah, well, I basically was the only referee at BWP, hence why I'm the head referee at BWP for about 12 months. Refereeing a whole show is no easy task.
Are you saying then that you are head referee by default?
I'm head referee because I'm the only one who'll take the gig.
Except for Johnny, of course.
Well, yeah, when Johnny came along. Now, I can't say that because there's loads of referees that love to be working for BWP. It's just that Steve sees something in me that he doesn't in any of the others, with the exception of Johnny. And Johnny's coming along fantastically. Going
back to the finish of the match, Max, really, I got to say, I think that if it wasn't for the fact that that Drill caught Dean unawares with that pin. I'm telling you, I don't think Drill was going to advance to the semi-finals because he looked pretty beat up. I mean, he's lucky that he caught Dean unawares with that pin.
But the fact of the matter is, Chris, he did roll him up. He did pin Dean's shoulders to the mat for the count of 3. Therefore, he was victorious and advanced to the semi-finals.
Absolutely, credit's where it's due. And obviously, as we saw, this had repercussions later in the evening, as we will explain. Of course, we heard from Dean McManus later on, and I'm sure we'll get to that as we get to it in the review.
Okay, so the second match, Chris, was the Japanese sensation Pyro versus Dylan Roberts. Dylan Roberts is the 2016 North Wales Charity Cup champion, a tournament with the slightly same kind of format as the El Bandito Memorial Trophy. These two are very close friends backstage as well, do an immense amount of training with each other and know each other back to front. So this was going to be, to me, it was going to be one of the standout matches, and I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen Pyro and Dylan Roberts face off a few times now during my tenure at BWP, and I've got to say this was one of the best matches that I've seen between the two. Really outstanding counter wrestling, just the speed of both guys. I mean, you look at a guy like Dylan Roberts, and you don't necessarily think that he'd have the kind of speed to match up with someone like a Pyro, someone who's smaller and quicker. But really, he went toe to toe, and they put on an outstanding contest.
Yeah, you know, Dylan Roberts was in control for the majority of the match, though, Chris. Pyro made short comebacks with bursts of speed and high-risk manoeuvres. But in the end, Chris, Dylan Roberts hits a Falcon Arrow and then follows that up with his Torture Bomb to pick up the win and go through to the semi-finals.
I have to be honest, I honestly think that Pyro was on the verge of an upset win here. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that he got caught coming off the ropes and obviously caught in mid-air and then dropped with a torture bomb, I think the result of this tournament could have been very, very different.
It could very well have been, yeah, Chris. You know, that match could have just gone either way, couldn't it? It really could have. We've seen these guys face off against each other loads of times, Chris. And, you know, you can never pick a favourite between them because they're both so strong and they're both so experienced and they know exactly what their opponent is thinking because they are that close.
Yeah, I have to be completely honest. I thought after the result that this was a surefire showing for match of the night, but on my honest opinion, this match was surpassed maybe even twice, as we'll get to, but notwithstanding, just an absolutely outstanding wrestling match.
Yeah, and I think I'd have to agree with you on that one as well, Chris. I think it was surpassed, very much so. But it definitely was not surpassed by the next match, the third match of the night, which was Dave Del Vecchio versus Don Micho. Don Micho, of course, eliminated Dave Del Vecchio from the Grand Central Rumble when we were in Liverpool last. Straight off the bat, Don Micho orders Dave Del Vecchio to lay down. The two have some choice words with each other before Dave Del Vecchio gets distracted by Filthy Woodbine and Don rolls Del Vecchio up. I know I've just given props to Johnny, but Johnny didn't see the pull of the tights, and therefore Don wins in record time and advances through to the semi-finals.
I wouldn't be giving Johnny too much heat, Max. The amount of times that I have watched you not see the tights being pulled.
Well, you know, it happens. We can't see everything in the ring, can we? It's just impossible. If I'm looking at the shoulders, I can't be looking at the tights. If I'm looking at the tights, I can't be looking at the shoulders. If Johnny's looking at the shoulders, he can't be looking at the tights. If Johnny's looking at the tights, he can't be looking at the shoulders. It's that simple. Well, you got no comeback now.
All right, Max, calm down.
You got no comeback to that, have you?
Don't get hot at me. At least Johnny was there.
Because I'm right. Listen, I'm going to be there. I'll be there. I'm booked on every show now for the rest of the year. So don't worry about that. And if you want, I'll bring my little tools along and I'll show you how they work so you can build the set. So you don't let the people of Denbigh down again.
I would love to build the set, Max. I would love to be able to do my job to the standard that I usually do. But
no come back to that one either.
the fact that I wasn't provided with the tools necessary to do that job isn't really my issue. I mean, really, that's kind of your problem. So really, you're getting hot at me when really you have no one to blame but yourself.
You're head of production, mate. You should make sure you got the tools.
Anyway, Max, you're digressing from the match here. People want to hear what happened. I think I should get back onto this match.
Yeah, we should do. And well, basically, I've just described the whole match because it was so quick. It was.
I'll tell you what. I don't know what's gotten into Dave Del Vecchio, but I tell you what, he really needs to watch his step because he very, very nearly screwed up this plan for Don Micho. And I've told you before, Don Micho and the Red Right Hand in general as a collective, they're a very smart unit. And they had a plan going in. They agreed to this plan. And Dave Del Vecchio understood his role in this tournament. And he went against the plan. And he nearly screwed the whole thing up for Don Micho. And I tell you what, Dave Del Vecchio needs to watch his step. Because the time is going to come where Don Micho is going to get his hands on Dave Del Vecchio. And it's not going to end well for Dave Del Vecchio.
Yeah, well, there's more to this story as the evening progressed, isn't there, Chris? So we'll get onto that a little bit later,
yeah.
I think.
He's just lucky that Phil stepped in and did the right thing and let Don get the win that he deserved. I mean, obviously, like I said, it progressed later on in the night, but at least up to this moment, things were going well for Don Micho.
Yes, they were. They were going swimmingly well for him, and he was through to the semi-finals. The next match, Chris... the fourth match of the evening was another member of the Red Right Hand, Sonna Dursum, versus the current BWP champion of Wales, Mr. No Fear Ry Lloyd. I was expecting a high-paced, high-flying, high-energetic match, and that's exactly what we got.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, although to be honest, I don't think anyone that saw the show will have any complaints with me saying this. Sonna Dursum, without question, your MVP of the evening. He put on 2 stellar performances, and in my mind, it just cemented why he is the 2016 Young Dragon, and why Sonna Dursum is going to have an incredibly bright future in BWP.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have one hell of a career. There's no doubt about this. The guy is on top form now, and I don't know how old he is. He's only young. He's going places as this guy, and he's definitely one to watch.
This match, I could talk about this match for hours. Honestly, just the way this match went down was perfection to me.
Well, let's talk about the beginning of the match, Chris. There was a succession of near falls, and it's just a testament to how much both Sonna and Ry have put into training ready for this tournament.
Well, here's an interesting factoid, Max. I've been going through the BWP archive recently, editing shows for the network, and I went back and I watched a show from 2016, early 2016 in Penaford, and that show featured a match, and it was Sonna Dursum versus Ry Lloyd. And
I remember it well because I reffed that match.
You actually did referee that match, unlike this one, but that's beside the point, Max. That was one of Sonna Dursum's first matches in BWP, and the fact that they went toe-to-toe on this evening and had what I would consider an even better outing than that first match shows how well that they know each other's styles and how well they had trained to face each other in this match.
Yeah, indeed. You know, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time when I was watching this match. And after some very impressive chain wrestling, Sonna Dursum gains the upper hand via a low blow that Johnny didn't see. Not his fault, he wouldn't have been able to see it. And then he hits his guillotine DDT on Ry Lloyd, and he picked up the win to go through to the semi-final.
That just touch on that move for a minute, Max. That is an incredibly unique move, and he's been using it. I think he started using it at the Young Dragons tournament, but this is I've never seen this before. I mean, would you consider
I'll
the way
have to correct you, Chris. I'll have to correct you. He's always used that as his finisher.
Well,
since he's made his debut in BWP, he's always used that as his finisher.
I digress. That move. I mean, the fact that he has the guy in the guillotine, and very well, you know, that guy could have been out well before the fact he drops him on his head with a DDT. Would you consider the fact that he drops that DDT a sign of disrespect to his opponent, or do you think that he is just ensuring that he gets that win?
Yeah, he's just ensuring it, isn't he? There's no doubt about that. I don't think there's any disrespect there, because he is, first and foremost, a competitor. Regardless of whether you like the guy or dislike the guy, regardless of his attitude, he is a competitor. He's there to win. It's as simple as that, Chris.
And I tell you, I could say, for anyone that hasn't seen this match, and of course, I'm assuming you all have because it's on the network right now, but even if you haven't subscribed to the network, shame on you if you haven't, but if you haven't subscribed to the network, this match is available for free, 100% completely free on the official...
That's my favourite price, that, Chris.
It's available completely free on the official BWP YouTube channel. Check it out, because I don't think any amount of discussion could do this match justice.
Yeah, I think we're both about to say the same thing here. I think this is going to be...
match of the night. Without question.
I think this is even going to be a contender for Match of the Year 2017.
This match had absolutely everything. It even had Sonner christening himself a new nickname, a new moniker, because I don't know if anyone can catch it on the video. I'm not quite sure what it was, a stray kick, but he actually broke the nose of Ry Lloyd during this match, christening himself the Turkish nose breaker.
Yeah, Chris, in fact, it was a drop kick into the corner. I've spoken to Ry since, and it was a drop kick into the corner.
And I tell you, he had a gusher going on there for a bit, and I mean, if it wasn't for the fact of Johnny jumping in like his mum, just trying to get the blood off, personally, I think that the blood just fires up Ry Lloyd. We've seen this happen before. I saw a 2 out of 3... Max, you were there. I saw a 2 out of 3 falls match between Matt Fox, fantastic Matt Fox, and Ry Lloyd. And Matt Fox broke the nose of Ry Lloyd in that match. This is the second time in 12 months this has happened to Ry Lloyd. And the blood just fired him up. And he went on to win that match. And Ry Lloyd won the match. Do we think, if Ry Lloyd had been allowed to bleed out, that would have fired him up more, and he might actually just have gotten the win in this match, and we may have had a completely different result?
That's a very good point you bring up there, Chris.
Damn right.
I wouldn't have wiped the blood away, unless it was to the point where there was blood everywhere. I would not have stopped the match to wipe that blood off.
I think we'll put that down to the inexperience of one Johnny B. Goodman. I mean, Johnny, you might have cost Ry Lloyd the trophy in the tournament, but we'll let you slide on that one because, you did have to do the whole show on your own. Anyway, Max, next match.
I don't think you could blame that on Johnny either, because Johnny, to be fair, Johnny's responsibility is the safety of the wrestlers. So he had to check up on Ry. But the point I was trying to make before is we are not WWE. We do our own thing. If there's blood, there's blood. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. So the winner, of course, we've already said, was Sonner Dursum. Now, if this doesn't make Sonner Dursum the number one contender to Ry's BWP Championship of Wales, I don't know what will, Chris.
Well, do you know what, Max? If these two face off again with the role that Sonner Dursum has been on as of late, I can see us having a new champion of Wales. If, of course, Ry Lloyd can survive his opponent for next month in Denbigh, which we will get to later on.
So the first semi-final match, Chris, was Don Micho versus Drill. Drill come into this match with a slightly injured back, and Don Micho, of course, was the freshest, not only out of him and Drill, but it was the freshest out of all 4 competitors to make it through to the semi-finals after his sham of a match with Dave Del Vecchio.
Let's not forget, Max, Don Micho is a very smart individual, and Don Micho had a plan to ensure that he would make it not only to the finals of the tournament, but become the winner and trophy holder for this year. Because let's not forget, Max, last year in the 2016 tournament, Don Micho was in the finals against Mark Morgan.
He was indeed, yeah.
And obviously he came up short in that match. So, unfortunately. So, he wanted to ensure that he was going to win this tournament. And this was his plan. And this plan, up to this point, let's be honest, this plan was going absolutely flawlessly. And
Well,
I
it
was
was working,
confident.
wasn't it?
I was
It was
confident. I was confident Don was going to be walking away with that trophy. That trophy in the red right hand where it belongs. But, as I'm sure you're going to tell us all just now, that's not quite what happened.
No, it isn't. This match was nothing other than a slugfest, to be honest, Chris. It was all about strength and brutality. And this was evident by a huge body slam given to Don Micho from Drill. When was the last time you seen Don Micho manhandled like that, Chris?
I can't remember the last time I saw Don Micho taken off his feet.
No.
Let's not give Don his due. He beat the absolute shit out of Drill in this match.
Yeah, of course he did. And again, he got the upper hand by dubious circumstances. As Drill was getting back into the ring after they'd had a little bit of a kerfuffle outside the ring, let's say, Don Micho kicks the middle rope. The middle rope then springs up right into Drill's little pork pies.
Dubious means. Max, come on, it's only cheated if you get caught. Come on, Don knows what he's doing. He's a very successful professional wrestler, Max. There's a reason Don Micho is the leader of the Red Right Hand, and it's tactics like this that ensures that he's up there. I thought for sure that Don was going to win. I thought for sure that this was a foregone conclusion, if you will. But obviously, as we go into what happened towards the finish of this match, things didn't quite work out, and I got to say, I'm very, very, very disappointed. Max, why don't you tell everyone what happened at the end of this match?
So, like you were saying, Drill was getting his ass handed to him, wasn't he, Chris? But Drill does come back. He hits a monstrous fall-away slam and feeds off the energy of the crowd at Denbigh Town Hall, only to receive what I call a butt bash, which is in the corner. You know, when Don Micho comes running in, his opponent sat down in the corner and he basically smashes their head with his butt. Is there a better name for it than that?
I like to call it. I like to call it the Umaga Special.
Well, yeah, the Umaga Special. Yeah, that's okay. We'll call it that. So yeah, straight after this Umaga Special, Chris, Don looks to be heading to victory, only to be distracted by Dave Del Vecchio. Don Micho then turns round into a flying headbutt from Drill. Drill wins and becomes the first finalist of the evening.
I have to be honest, Max. I mean, you're giving Drill a lot of credit here for winning, but let's make a point. Two things. First of all, Dave Del Vecchio, like I said earlier, Max, I don't have to say any more other than he's going to get his, mark my words. And two, Drill using that, what does he call that headbutt? That ridiculous move that he does.
It's like a flying headbutt or a cannonball headbutt.
Considering that for the first match with Dean McManus, he'd spent the majority of the match working over Drill's back and his neck. And the same could be said for Don Micho at this match. Do we really think it was the smartest thing to be Drill to be using his head as a weapon?
Whether it's smart or not, that's a question that neither of us can answer because neither of us have been in that position, Chris. But it was effective nonetheless. Yeah,
effective as it may have been, but obviously, you know, I can only point the blame on one person, and that one person is Johnny B. Goodman, because Johnny B. Goodman did not eject Dave Del Vecchio before he could ruin that match for Don.
He didn't have much time to, really, did he? Because as soon as Dave Del Vecchio was on the stage, Don Micho was distracted. That was the end.
Irrelevant,
but
Max.
However, we do have to talk about what happens post-match here as well.
Yes, we do. Why don't I want to hear you talk us through this one, Max?
Okay, so Don Micho gives Drill a brutal beatdown after the match. Dave Del Vecchio holds Drill up so Don can attack him with his walking cane. But Drill moves and Don absolutely nails and knocks out DDV.
Let's just say that was just desserts for Dave Del Vecchio. Well deserved.
Yeah, well, you might think so. Was it inadvertently? Could he have pulled back? Well, let's see.
I'll tell you what that was,
going to lead
Max.
to fireworks.
I'll tell you what that was. That was a receipt for Dave Del Vecchio. Whether Don Micho wants to admit it or not, we all know the situation. We know DDV didn't stick to the plan. At the end of the day, this is only his fault, and he only has himself to blame. And, you know, I hope that taught him a lesson, and I hope he now understands the mistake that he made screwing up this tournament for Don Micho. You will get yours, DDV, mark my words.
Strong words there from a production guy.
Well, you know, all I can say is I know what I saw live. I know what I heard backstage before the show. I understand that there are situations where you have to have a game plan to ensure the result. And this was a game plan that went awry. And it went awry because of one individual. And that individual was Dave Del Vecchio. And like I say, you know, Don got a measure of revenge there. But, you know, I'm amazed. I mean, would we consider this to be his exile from the Red Right Hand? I mean, obviously, it was inadvertent. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don didn't set out to attack Dave with that cane. I mean, you know, Don just accidentally, you know, he drill ducked and he hit Dave. That's not Don's fault. Correct me if I'm wrong, Max, but
No, I don't think we can say it is. I don't think we can say that is an exile at all. But there's definitely going to be repercussions.
Well, all I'll say is
I've known Dave a long time, and I don't think that he'll let that lie.
I said this to you. I said this to you at the Rumble, Max. I said to you, I hope that they had a nice long conversation backstage, and DDV Dave understands the situation of where he stands. I hope that not only did they have a nice long conversation, if DDV is still a member of the Red Right Hand, which I do believe that he is, because Don Micho is a fair man. If he is still a member of the Red Right Hand, I hope he not only gave him a good talking to backstage, but I hope that he whipped him into shape a little bit, because Don Micho cannot take the chance of this happening again.
You say Don Micho's a fair man. Well, let me just fast forward a little bit after Dave Del Vecchio got knocked out. Don Micho then goaded Drill to get into the ring. Drill gets into the ring to face Don Micho like a man. Don Micho
like an idiot.
Don Micho then kicks Drill in the pork pies. Whilst Drill is on the floor, Don absolutely hammers, and I mean hammers. I've never seen anything so brutal in my life. Hammers Drill in the back of the head with the solid silver handle of his walking cane.
First of all, Max, let me correct you.
Let me ask you a question now I've said that. You said that Don is a fair man. Was that a fair thing to do?
You say, first of all, that is not a walking cane. That is a gentleman's cane. You stand corrected, Max, and you're welcome for that correction. Secondly, like a man, Drill getting into the ring like a man, like a complete idiot. If you think that Drill was smart to get into the ring when Don Micho is stood there with a weapon in his hand, you call that like a man? Drill deserved everything he got after he got into that rig.
Well, you might think so, Chris. I don't. I just think it was uncalled for. Don was eliminated from the tournament there and then, and he should not have played any further part. And what he did was unforgivable and could have ruined the night. Because if Drill could not continue, then there might not have been a final.
If it ruined the night. If it ruined the night. It ruined Don's night. It ruined Don Micho's chances of winning that tournament. And you're bothered. Dave Del Vecchio ruined Don's night. Never mind wrecking Drill's night.
Well, Don should have won then, shouldn't he?
Well, it's irrelevant here.
Don wrecked his own night by not winning.
That's beside the point, Max, and you know it. Because Dave Del Vecchio cost Don the match. Therefore, two people ruined the night. Dave Del Vecchio and Drill. And they ruined the Red Right Hand night. You may continue.
Thank you very much, Christopher. So the second semi-final, Chris, was Sonny Durson versus Dylan Roberts. Sonny Durson jumps Dylan from behind to get this match underway. Of course, using the tactics that we've come to expect from the Red Right Hand has been very underhanded.
Yep, like you say, Max, really much like the match with Ry Lloyd, Sonny getting this off to a quick, a fast, a speedy start, trying to catch Dylan Roberts off guard with his speed and his fast technical offence, as we come to expect from Sonny Durson, obviously. Impressed me so much in this match. I mean, you go in there with someone like Dylan Roberts, and yeah, Dylan Roberts can get a good match out of anyone, but you put him in there with Sonny Durson, and just, it was magic. Absolute magic. I had a job deciding, and here's a little behind the scenes tidbit for you, Max. I had a little bit of a job deciding which match I was going to release for free on the YouTube as a showcase of not only how good is BWP and its superstars, but how good this tournament was as a whole. And unfortunately, this match it came up second to the Ry Lloyd match, but that's not to give it any less credit. This was an outstanding wrestling match.
You see, for me, I thought this was the match of the night.
Yeah, that's your opinion, Max, and we'll agree to disagree on that one. Both of them, like I said, you can't say anything negative about either of them. Both outstanding contests. But this match, I mean, like I said, you know, Sonny was lucky. I can't say that it was an upset win, because Sonny Durson is a hell of an athlete and a hell of a wrestler, and I think the right guy won. Of course I do. But no discredit to Dylan Roberts. I mean, he put in an incredible performance here. So many times he came close to getting the win in this match, and I thought for sure that he was going to go into the finals with Drill.
This was a very close back and forth contest for the majority, Chris, until Dylan hits a huge cutter out of the corner, and the match looks to be over as Roberts makes the pin. But Filthy Woodvine manages to grab Sonny Durson's leg and put it onto the rope, forcing Johnny to break the count. Dylan momentarily gets distracted by Filthy Woodvine, which allows Sonny Durson to hit that guillotine DDT which we've spoken about earlier, Chris, and therefore Sonny picks up the win and goes through to the final.
Here's an interesting and possibly slightly controversial question for you, Max. Since we see here the plan that the Red Right Hand have to ensure that Sonny Durson went through to the finals with the foot on the ropes, classic distraction, classic tactics to ensure a win. Do we think the original plan was to have Don Micho and Sonny Durson facing off in the finals? Not only that, but if we think that may have been the original plan of the Red Right Hand, do we think that Sonny Durson would have done the right thing and laid down for Don Micho?
I think he would have done, because, you know, Sonny Durson, he is Red Right Hand through and through. There is no, how can I put it, niggling thought which you can see at the back of his head thinking, am I doing the right thing for myself here? He doesn't think about himself, whereas I think DDV is starting to think about himself a bit. He just thinks about the Red Right Hand and how to make that faction stronger.
Yeah, maybe just from your answer there, Max, are you telling me that you don't think DDV belongs in the Red Right Hand anymore?
Well, that's still to be seen, that, Chris. I can't say, because that's in the future and I don't have crystal bollocks, mate. So we're just going to have to wait and see for that one.
Well, I mean, obviously unlucky for Dylan Roberts. You know, he had a good outing, shall we say, 2 excellent matches on the night. Came up short in this match, which brings us to our main event of, if you would, Max.
The final was Sonny Durson versus Drill. However, I do need to speak about something before that, Chris. And before I speak about that, we'll just go to this quick ad break.
Alright, how's it going? It's me, Drill. And I've got something to tell you. Drill Bits is now exclusively, that's right, I said exclusively, on the BWP network. I'm not being funny, right, but it's $3.99. Yeah, £3.99, it could buy you a few pies, that could buy you a pint. Oh, I do love a good pie and pint. Anyway, check out the BWP Facebook page or Britannia Wrestling website for a bit more info. Oh yeah, you know the BWP's on demand is on £3.99. Get it on now.
Welcome back to BWP Encore Radio, ladies and gentlemen. Before we speak about the El Bandito Memorial Tournament Final 2017, there was an appearance in the ring by Dean McManus. He enters the ring and makes the shock announcement, Chris, that he is no longer going to wrestle in Wales.
Well, I mean, all I have to say about that is that is Wales's loss. And I gotta say, Denbigh, I am extremely disappointed in the reaction that this got from the crowd. Because, so I would just say, is they were rather pleased to hear that Dean McManus was not going to wrestle in this beautiful country anymore. And I gotta say, like I said, Denbigh, it's your loss. You know, if you don't understand good professional wrestling, and if you don't want to watch good professional wrestling, that's your prerogative. But you've kind of cost yourselves there, because you're not going to get to watch this great professional wrestler ever again in the Denbigh Town Hall, and you only have yourselves to blame. So I hope you're happy about that.
Well, I don't think I agree with you on that one, Chris. Yes, Dean McManus is a pure professional wrestler. There's no doubt about that. But blaming it on the fans in Denbigh, blaming it on the Welsh BWP faithful, I can't agree with that, mate.
Well, all I'm going to say is if they're going to willingly boo someone to that extent where it's knocking them off of their game and they can't perform to the best of their abilities, I got to put that down to the faithful. That's not any fault of Dean McManus. Like I said, he was caught unawares. He was caught off guard with a fluke flash roll up. That could very well have gone the other way. You know it, I know it, they all fucking know it, and they took such great pleasure in hearing this that I gotta say, I was just stood behind the curtain and I was just literally facepalm, head in my hands, just shaking my head, just disbelief at what I was hearing. This is not a cause to celebrate. This is a cause to mourn, and this is a farewell of Dean McManus in Wales. This is how you treat him. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Well, I tell you who else wanted to give him a farewell, Chris, because he said he would not leave the ring for the final to get underway until someone would get him out of the ring. And that person who wanted to give him a farewell from Wales was the babyface Pitbull. There was a brief altercation between them, and it just goes to show how personal things have gotten between these two. And of course, they're going to face off against each other for Pitbull's BWP PWI World Catchweight title at Scousetown, emanating from Liverpool's Grand Central Hall on Friday the 14th of April. Tickets are on sale now at www.ringsideworld.co.uk.
Yeah, you go ahead, Max. You plugged the show for next month, but all I got to say is that was a disgraceful exhibition by the babyface Pitbull, flaunting his status as the world champion. He's as bad as all the Welsh, and I am a Welsh man, and that makes me very upset to have to admit. But that was an absolute disgusting act. He should not have been in that ring. That was Dean McManus' moment, and the babyface Pitbull ruined it. And I'll tell you something, come April the 14th, in the Dome, in Liverpool, in Grand Central, the babyface Pitbull is going to get his receipt, and he's going to get his, and Dean McManus will be leaving the Dome with that world title. I'll tell you one thing, he will not be bringing it to Denbigh Town Hall. He won't be bringing it back to this stinking country ever again, because he got the right idea, and these fans do not deserve to watch that belt being defended.
See, I disagree with you. It's the Welsh fans that put their hands in their pockets to make Britannia Wrestling Promotions what it is today. You can't take away from the Welsh fans. And to call this a stinking country, Chris, I mean, if you want to fuck off with Johnny down to Stoke, you fucking go ahead, pal. You go down there and you get out the fucking way.
It disgusts me to have to say it, Max, but let's be honest, if they want a belt to be defended, they can run to Ryan Lloyd in his Championship of Wales. Let them run to Ryan. That's their belt. That is the Welsh belt. But that is a world title that Dean McManus will be winning next month in Liverpool. That is a world title, and he doesn't need to wrestle here. He doesn't need this shit from the faithful, the fans. He can wrestle anywhere in the world with that belt. He can wrestle in England anytime he wants, and he will not get this kind of a reaction. He'll get the respect that he deserves in Liverpool.
I don't know. I've been to the Liverpool shows. They boo him just as much. Chris. That's bollocks.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did you see the reaction when he won the Grand Central Rumble? Those fans were agitated.
Oh yeah.
They were so happy.
Of course
everyone.
Were you watching the same show as me, you prick?
They were agitated.
Were you watching me? No.
Because they knew that he was going to get his title shot and he was going to win the BWP World Catchweight title, and that is exactly what he's going to do. And Denbigh, you fucked up, and you are never going to see that belt ever again. Mark my words.
Well, I beg to differ. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be a very hard-fought contest, and the outcome will be what it will be.
All I'm going to say to you, Max, is there is going to be a party on the 14th of April in Liverpool. There's going to be a celebration, and it will not be the babyface Pitbull holding that title above his head. Just you watch. It'll be Dean McManus. Like I said, mark my words, Max.
You want to put a fiver on it?
Max, I am not a gambling man. I know better than to gamble on decisions. I have an opinion of what I think is going to happen, and 9 times out of 10 that opinion is the correct one. Let's not forget that.
You said that you'll guarantee it. Well, if you'll guarantee it, let's put a fiver on it.
I'll tell you what, Max. Let's go one further. Let's put a tenner on it.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to see the account.
Yeah, you consult your little black book, Max, and you get back to me on that one, okay? Because if you want to be a big spender, big man, you want to be a big spender. You want to gamble on professional wrestling. You do that. You go ahead. I will bet you 10 whole British pounds.
I've consulted my little black book, and it says, yes, I'll bet you a tenner. And I've also consulted my little red book, and you're on the list.
Oh, I just made the list.
Yes,
I just made the list. Max, like I said, mark my words. Mark my words. New champion, Liverpool, April the 14th.
Don't be a stupid idiot, Chris. Save yourself some money and don't take the bet.
All I'm saying to you, Max, is you're leading up to be very, very disappointed. And anyone that listens to you and honestly thinks that the babyface Pitbull stands a cat in hell's chance of walking out of Liverpool with that world title is delusional. They're crazy. Just you wait and see. New champion.
You stupid idiot. Right, anyway, we're digressing from what we've set ourselves out to do here tonight, Chris, which is, of course, review the 2017 El Bandito Memorial Tournament.
Perhaps, Max, perhaps I just like to watch you squirm. Consider that.
I've heard of that. Do you say squirm or squirt?
To watch you squirm, Max, because I know how to push your buttons. We don't need any of that lurid shit on this show, okay? It's facts. It's my opinions, which are in a way fact because they're always correct, and you know it, and I think you're afraid to admit it, to admit that maybe I have the right idea and I actually have an understanding of how things are going to work around here, and I think you're afraid to admit that, and your defences go up, and you have to, let's bet, and no, Max, because this is what's going to happen, it's just a fact, just you wait.
It's going to be the best £10 I've ever won. And I'll remind you about this conversation as I'm taking that £10 off you.
You do that.
I will do, don't worry. Anyway, we digress from what we've set ourselves out to do here tonight, which, of course, is review the 2017 El Bandito Memorial Tournament. We, of course, need to talk about the final. Sonna Dursum versus Grill, the Bevyweight. Which I don't know who came up with that, but that's a great name, by the way. So Dursum makes his way to the ring, accompanied by Filthy Woodwine and Don Micho. very interesting to note, no Dave Del Vecchio there with them. Drill makes his way to the ring, sporting a bandaged head after being brutally attacked by Don Micho earlier on in the evening. It was a bit of a clash of styles, this match, as it was the speed and agility of Sonny Durson versus the pure strength and power of Drill.
I have to say, Max, the first thing I noticed about this match is Drill made a rookie mistake. He came out with his head bandaged up, and that was the worst thing you can do. That is like putting a big red X on your head. He comes out looking like fucking Mr. Bump with his bandage on, with his little plasters on. What does that tell you? That tells Sonny Durson, he's hurt. I'm going to go after that head, and I'm going to win. That was a stupid move by Drill. He was lucky that the match went the way that it did, because, like I say, that was a big mistake. That was a red X, and as you saw in the match, Sonny went straight after that head of Drill. Straight after it.
Yeah, he did. It was very even to start off with, though, Chris, until Drill actually surprised everyone at Denbigh Town Hall by hitting a huge drop kick.
I don't think I've ever seen Drill come off his feet.
Well, you have now. You can say you've seen it now. He then followed it up with a dive off the apron, which took out the whole of the red right hand, with the exception of Dave Del Vecchio, because he wasn't there.
Very telling, actually. Very telling that Dave Del Vecchio wasn't there. Do we think, he was a little bit guilty maybe about what happened earlier? You think, or do you think it's a case of Don Micho said, you stay backstage, don't get involved in this match?
We'll never know. What happens in the red right hand stays in the red right hand.
Very, very telling. That's all I'm going to say. Very telling. Very interesting. It's going to be very interesting the next time we see Dave Del Vecchio at Britannia Wrestling Promotions event, and just seeing, does he come to the ring with the red right hand? Because obviously, I think it was a foregone conclusion here that as far as anyone was concerned, Sonny Durson was going to walk out with that trophy. So the fact, obviously, as the match went down the way that it did, it's going to be very. Also, I'm going to say it's going to be very interesting next time we see the red right hand, and just to see, who comes out as a unit. As you see here, Max, Filthy Woodvine, Sonny Durson, Don Micho, all around the ringside. A well-oiled machine, as we've seen so many times before. No exception in this match. And like I said, things went the way that they did. But it just shows me, even without Dave Del Vecchio, that the red right hand is still a well-oiled machine, and they don't need someone like Dave Del Vecchio screwing up their plans.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about Sonny going after the injured head of Drill, he did rip the bandage off, and he took control of the match by basically homing in on Drill's injury. There was involvement from the red right hand as well, and to be fair to Johnny B. Goodman, he banned the red right hand from ringside. What did you think about that, Chris?
Well, the red right hand have as much right to be at ringside as anybody else. They are part of the red right hand, and they are the other members of the red right hand, so they had every right to be at ringside supporting their man. And I think it was a bad mistake by Johnny Goodman. Obviously, he's just a rookie referee. He's inexperienced.
Well, let me stop you there, Chris. When Sonny Durson is repeatedly throwing Drill out to the red right hand, distracting the referee so the red right hand can beat up on Drill, it's just starting to take the fucking piss.
Well, then he should have gone ahead and just disqualified them, but I think by sending them backstage was just an unfair call, and that's just, let's put it down to Johnny B. Goodman's inexperience as a referee. Max, as head referee, you should know this. What would you have done in that situation? Because, obviously, you have to be unbiased, being a referee and all.
Whilst I'm conducting the duties of the referee, yes, I am unbiased.
However, obviously...
Opinion?
Obviously,
doesn't mean I don't have an opinion, though, does it?
But obviously, as unbiased as you are in the ring when it comes to doing this podcast, let's just say your morals are a little bit skewed, shall we say, Max?
I'm entitled to opinion just like you, Chris. Remember that.
Even if your opinion is the wrong one, that's fine, Max. You give me all the opinions you like.
So anyway, getting back to your question, I think Johnny did exactly the right thing, and I would have done it as well. I would have banned the red right hand from ringside because it gives both competitors in the ring a fair chance without any outside interference.
Well, then you're just as incompetent as Johnny then, aren't you? I mean, this has been all over, Facebook, people calling you out for your incompetence over what happened in the Grand Central Rumble. Let's not get into it now, but it's very blatant. Anyone listening to this show will have seen it all over the BWP Facebook page. Let's not go there, Max. Don't make me go there right now. Let's just talk about the match in question.
If we speak about that now, Chris, because the whole thing, the whole situation you're referring to is being dealt by the BWP office, if we talk about it now, we could actually end up making the situation a lot worse. So we will not mention it and we won't talk about it right here, right now.
I will say one thing, and then I will keep quiet on the subject. I will say one thing that I said to Steve Saxon in public the other day in regards to the situation. I was accused of being censored on this podcast. I banned from saying talking about certain situations and making certain remarks. I made it very clear to the people in question that under no circumstances am I censored or banned. I am given a platform to voice my opinion, the correct one, and my opinions will be voiced. And that is all I have to say on that particular situation.
Because that it is being dealt with by the BWP office and I was the official of the Rumble, I really can't say anything. So, yeah, we'll have to leave it at that. And I'm sure we'll have plenty more to talk about regarding this situation after Scouse Down.
Now, Max, getting back to the match in question, why don't you talk about what happened in the closing moments of this match? As to be honest with you, it pains me too much to even think about it right now. So go ahead, you tell everyone what happened. Okay,
so Drill hits his headbutt, his flying headbutt, cannonball headbutt, which injures himself. They're both down for a count, double down count. However, Drill still manages to catch Sonny with a superplex off the top rope. Sonny somehow kicks out of the following pin and then proceeds to put Drill into the guillotine position for the guillotine DDT, only for Drill to counter it into a back body drop. He follows it up with a flying headbutt and his finisher, the Driller Killer, to become victorious via pinfall. The winner and your 2017 El Bandito Memorial Trophy winner, Drill!
You sound very pleased to announce that, Max.
I'm very pleased for Drill. I would be pleased for Sonny. Not everyone gets to win this. It's a very, very prestigious title to hold. So I would be pleased for anyone who held it because it means they have worked their socks off to get there.
It's a very, very prestigious trophy, Max, and it's a very, very tall trophy as well. It's bigger than you. It's fucking huge. It's beautiful. I just honestly think it went to the wrong person. I mean, I'll give credit where it's due. Congratulations, Drill. It's a well-earned win considering everything you went through on that particular evening, but considering the performances that Sonny Durson put in to get to that point, I think it really was a bit of a disappointment that he wasn't able to snag. Let's not forget, Sonny Durson, 2016 Young Dragon winner. It would have been nice to have added this El Bandito trophy to his collection. Fortunately, it wasn't to be.
No, it wasn't to be, and Drill come out victorious, and you know what? I couldn't wish it upon a better fella. He has become such a crowd favourite, such a fan favourite since his breakaway from the League of Violence. comes out throwing pork pies around the place. He's the pie-eating heavyweight Grill. And I tell you what, Chris, we've spoken to Grill earlier on this evening via Facebook chat and whatnot, and we said we'd get him on the show for a few words. Should we do that now?
Oh, do we have to? Do we really need to go there, Max?
I think it's only fair that we hear from the 2017 El Bandito Memorial Trophy winner.
You really want to rub it in, don't you? All right, guys. We'll call Drill up, and I can't promise this is probably gonna be pretty, but let's go to a break, and when we come back, we'll have Drill.
So, on the line we have Grill, the 2017 El Bandito Memorial Trophy winner. Grill, nice to have you on the show. Welcome to BWP Encore Radio, buddy.
Thanks for having me. How's it going?
It's going all right, yeah, not so bad. What's it like being the holder of a prestigious trophy?
It's all right, isn't it?
All right.
All right.
So, talk us through the night for you and your thoughts and emotions from your first match all the way through to the final.
Well, my first match was against, obviously, Dean McManus. Coming into that match, I didn't actually think I had a chance, as Dean was, what was it, two-time champion?
Yeah, two-time BWP World Catchweight champion.
Yeah, he's been tag team champion and the Welsh champion. So I wasn't going in optimistic about it, but I still had hope I could do it.
Here's a question for you. Drill, do you think you got lucky in this match?
I don't think I got lucky, but I think I caught Dean on an off night.
Because, I mean, obviously you got the fluke win, and the fact that you won now means that all of the Welsh fans never get to see Dean McManus wrestle in Wales ever again. So, I mean, you might have won the match, but you know, you've kind of cost us, really. You've kind of cost us Dean McManus. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Does anybody care? I mean, he has a bad attitude. He comes out, calls everybody, all the fans, respects nobody. We don't need that, do we?
Yeah, well said. Well said, Brill. No, we don't. There's no place for that in a professional sports environment, is there, Brill?
No.
So you won against Dean McManus with a roll-up, a quick roll-up.
Yeah.
Was that your game plan? Was it going into that match was to try and catch him off guard with a quick roll-up?
I wouldn't say it was a big game plan. I was hoping to at least outpower him, if that's the right word to say. But obviously that didn't work. And Dean is a veteran, so obviously he's used to wrestling guys my size. So it kind of didn't work out. So the only last thing I'd do is try and get a roll-up, and it won.
Yeah, well, it certainly did the trick, didn't it, mate?
Just about.
So your second match was against Don Micho, the leader of the Red Right Hand. So talk us through that match and what you were thinking, specifically what happened after the bell had rung to end the match.
Well, clearly I got the victory. Don Micho wasn't happy about that. Tried to send his goons in and managed to avoid a cane to the head the first time. Tried to have a miss around, he got back in the ring. I was going to give him a bit more peace of my mind, and then punches me in the nuts. And as I was trying to hold my nuts, all I remember is a bump on the back of my head. And then next minute, the referee's over me, trying to spoon me.
I've got a couple of questions. These are things that I asked Max previous when we were talking about this match. The first question I've got for you is, how much do you owe to Dave Del Vecchio distracting Don Micho so you could get the win? And second question I want you to answer for me is, why the hell did you get back in the ring after the match with an angry Don Micho brandishing a weapon?
Well, the answer to your first question is
I think Dave kind of gave him a bit of a distraction, but Don Micho should know by now, being a champion, that he shouldn't let things like that affect him. And obviously it did. And it gave me time to recuperate, and I managed to finish the match and beat him.
So you don't think effectively you just got lucky twice? Just fluke?
What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say that, maybe if the guys were on their game and weren't distracted or caught off guard, that maybe the result might have been a bit different. Maybe you wouldn't have that trophy right now.
Oh, I think that's disgusting what you're saying, Chris.
Why don't you answer the second question, Drill? I mean, how stupid would you have to be to get back in the ring to an angry Don Micho holding a cane? What was going through your mind?
Well, I'm not claimed to be the cleverest guy in the world, but I'm not afraid to fight somebody. At the end of the day, it's all or nothing.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of Don Micho. I'm not afraid of him, especially that cane.
That's the thing, isn't it, Grill? You're a man's man. If you get called out, you're going to step up, aren't you?
Exactly. I'm not going to back off.
No.
You say you're not afraid of the cane, but let's not forget that cane ended up across the back of your head shortly after that.
Well, that is true, but he punched me in the nuts. He wouldn't have got me in the back of the head if that wouldn't have happened, would it? I mean, Don Micho's doing underhanded tactics.
Well, to be fair, mate, you did get in the ring, so it's kind of fair game.
Well, like I said, I ain't going to back down from a challenge.
So what type of damage was done to you by that cane? Did you have concussion? Were you just knocked out? What was the damage?
Well, I'm no doctor, but from the simple terms I can say it, I had a concussion.
You were concussed?
That's correct.
And so, did you have to be cleared to fight in the final then?
Whether I was cleared or not, I wasn't going to stop myself from going to the final. The doctors advised me not to do it, but I was having none of it.
That's fair enough. We've already said you're a man's man, and you do as you please.
That's right.
So let's move forward now to the final, Grill.
Yeah.
You were again facing a member of the Red Right Hand, this time in the form of Sona Dursa. Just talk us a bit through the match.
Well, as I was in the match, I don't remember a lot of it, but after watching it back, it was pretty hard to watch at some points. As you can clearly see, I was falling over. I was doing stuff I wouldn't normally do in the ring. At times, it seemed like I didn't even know where I was in the ring. But I managed to get the win at the end, obviously, and I'm happy about that.
It's funny you mentioned not knowing where you were in the ring. I mean, the one question I have for you, really, from watching that match is, the doctors say you have a concussion. Why were you doing so much head-based offense in that match?
Well, the way I see it, it's one of my strongest offences, and the best form of defence is attack sometimes.
I mean, I understand, you've got a massive head, right? That's all well and good.
It's not that big.
But you had a massive head that was concussed. Potentially, you do your flying headbutt, and you could have knocked yourself out. You could have injured your neck. I mean, honestly, you're lucky, to be honest, that you sat here now talking to us.
Well, I like to say I've got a thick skull, so, just one of them.
So, as you say, Grill, you managed to win. You picked up the victory. You became the El Bandito Memorial Trophy winner. Talk us through your emotions as soon as you realised you won the match. What emotions were you feeling? Because to me, when I watched it back, you looked to be in utter shock.
Yeah, that's right. I was in utter shock. As you realise, I was concussed, so I wasn't quite 100% where I was or what happened. And as the ring announcer came to me and told me I won, I was in utter shock. And I couldn't believe I beat Sona Dursa at not even being at 100%. and that just speaks volumes about my character inside me.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. It shows that you don't give up at all under any circumstances. So, did you go home? Did you go straight home afterwards to celebrate? Did you go to the hospital to get checked over for your concussion? What happened after you left Denbigh Town Hall?
Well, I wasn't fit to drive, so I had to get someone else to drive me home. But I celebrated by having a McDonald's, and then being a man's man, when I got home, I just put a bit of ice on my fod and just sat there for an hour, sat in dark.
You had a McDonald's? That surprises me. I thought you might have had a bevy and a pork pie.
Oh, that was the day after that.
All right, okay. So, looking ahead now to the next BWP show, which again is in Denbigh on the 8th of April. You're going up against Ry Lloyd, the current BWP champion of Wales, in a championship match. Do you have a game plan? What's your preparations? And how do you see it going?
Well, personally, I feel I'm owed this match because I managed to earn myself a #1 contenders match a couple of months ago, and Dean ended up inserting himself into it. So I feel this is retribution for myself to have my one-on-one match again. But I'm just going to go in, normal game plan. I'm bigger than Ry. I'm going to try and throw him around, outpower him, and just try and make him, I'm just bruise him to death and beat him.
Considering the beating you took at the El Bandito, are you going to be 100% for this match against Ry Lloyd?
Well, the doctors say you're supposed to have 30 days off from any activity once you receive a concussion. I think I've had long enough off. I've trained hard in the gym again. I've been eating well. I feel good. I feel 100%. So I'm excited to get in the ring.
Is there anything else you want to say, Grill?
Well, apart from I think I'm going to win the match.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're predicting a win for yourself over Ry Lloyd there, then, are you, Drill?
That is correct. I think Ry Lloyd's not had a lot of competitors like me at BWP. Well, apart from Don Micho. But Don Micho's no drill, is it? Let's be honest. But I think it's time that title comes to me. He's held on to it for too long now, and it's time for a change.
Well, do you know what, Joel? I will say one thing just to respond to your comments then about Don Micho. All I'll say is if you do win this match and you do become the new champion of Wales, I think you should probably be watching your back, because after those kind of comments, I think there's only going to be one person who's going to be coming for a title shot against that belt, and it's going to be Don Micho by the sounds of it. I'd have eyes watching your back, mate.
Why should I need to watch my back on Don Micho? I mean, for the last 3-4 months, he's done nothing. He's a loser.
Those are very strong words there from Drill, I will say. I want to wish you the best of luck for that match, Drill. I'm hesitant to say whether you'll come out on top. Who knows? But I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic match.
It surely will be a fantastic match, I agree.
Right, Grill, we'd like to thank you very much for coming on to Encore Radio and giving us your thoughts about your recent victory at the BWP El Bandito Memorial Tournament. Thank you very much, and we shall see you in Denbigh on the 8th of April.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, thank you. Take care, bud.
See you later.
Ta-da.
Bye.
So we'd like to thank Grill for coming on the show, and we wish him all the very best for his upcoming matches. So I think the only thing left to do now, Chris, is to talk about the show on the 8th of April at Denbigh Town Hall. There's already been 2 matches announced. More will be announced in the coming days and weeks, of course, leading up to the show. The first match, we've already just talked about it with Grill, of course, is Ry Lloyd versus Grill. Do we have anything else we want to add to this, Chris?
Well, one thing I will say is I think all those bangs to the head have knocked Drill a little bit loopy, because he seems pretty adamant that he's going to be walking out of Denbigh Town Hall with that Championship of Wales, and whilst, I'm not the biggest fan of Rye Lloyd, I mean, let's be honest, I've made my opinions very, very well known in the past. I don't know, could that be considered delusional? I mean, he seems so confident, and when we saw the beating that he took at the hands of everybody at the old Bandito Memorial Tournament, so I think it's, let's just say, Rye Lloyd, as much as...
Hold on, Chris. You can't blame the guy for being confident. I mean, he won 3 matches in one night and sustained a concussion whilst doing it. So, can you blame him for being confident?
Credit where it's due, but all I'm going to say is Rye Lloyd, as much as Drill claims to, Rye Lloyd never backs down from a fight either. And I think Drill's going to be vulnerable. Let's just put that out there. I think that head is going to be a point of weakness for Drill. And I think if Rye takes advantage of that and is smart enough to focus on that during the match, I think the finish is a foregone conclusion. But, I have a habit of being surprised here at BWP when it comes to results of matches. So I think it's going to be a very interesting one to see, and I'm very excited to get to witness that one.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be an interesting one, Chris, and I'm sure it's one that the BWP faithful do not want to miss. So the second match that's already been announced, and the final one so far, Chris, is the Band, one of the newest tag teams in BWP, versus the Wonderland, which are extravagant, to say the least.
The Band, quite an explosive debut. Last time we saw them at Denbigh, which was their debut as a team, when they took on the Island Brothers. And obviously we saw them in individual action in the Grand Central Rumble match itself. However, this is their second match as a team. And Wonderland, from what we've seen so far, especially with this new, is it a manager, an advocate, this character that's coming around with them now, this manager of sorts. I think the antics of the Band are not going to be taken lightly by Wonderland, and I am kind of scared for Troy and Seth as to what kind of a state Wonderland are going to leave them in when they finish playing with them.
Yeah, it's certainly a contrast in styles between the two teams, and it's also a contrast in personalities. The very bubbly and outgoing Band against the very satanic Wonderland. It's, again, another interesting match, and one which I hope the Band don't take too lightly. But then again, we could say that about Wonderland, because the Band have been such hot property since they made their debut. It's going to be one interesting and one worth watching, I feel, Chris.
I think the biggest factor in this match is going to be the crowd reactions, because we saw the Band debut, like I say, in January in Denbigh Town Hall, and the fans took to them straight away. They really were over with that crowd. And the last time we saw Wonderland in Denbigh Town Hall, half the front row, the kids in the front row, were crying their eyes out because they were absolutely terrified, and some of the adults were as well, from what I remember. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting environment on the 8th of April in Denbigh.
Yeah, it will.
And obviously, not to mention, there are going to be plenty of matches still to be announced for this card, and I'm sure it'll be an absolutely cracking night of professional wrestling. Stay tuned to the Britannia Wrestling Promotions Facebook page for all updates on future match announcements.
So that's the return of BWP to Denbigh Town Hall on the 8th of April. For ticket information, visit www.britanniawrestling.co.uk. Sadly, that's all we've got time for. So please remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube, and for sure subscribe to our on-demand service, the BWP Network. Any Grapple fan should have the BWP Network. It's a service that you really need in your life. So we'd like to thank you for listening, whether you're listening in Wales, England, Scotland, Ireland, South America, North America, even Tampa, Florida. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of BWP Encore Radio.
He really worked over Drill. I mean, I saw Drill walking backstage after that match, and he looked like he had taken a... I can't... Fucking hell. And then he said it like he'd taken a pounding. Shit.
I'm not being funny, right? But that's right in my fucking arsehole.
I'm not being funny, right? I saw Drill walk through that curtain after that match, and you could see that he was hurting.
Again, using them tactics that we've talked about before that the Red Right Hand use, which may not be kosher.
Kosher? You can't say that!
Did you see what I did there?
You can't... Oh.
You want me to redo that?
No. That's going in the gag reel. Came up short, unfortunately. Well, came up short in this match. Unfortunately. Fucking hell.
Will you stop saying? Will you stop saying? Came up short. Okay. It provokes my anger.
Right. Okay. What?
Stop saying he came up short because it
from
provokes
you.
my anger.
Oh, Max, have we got some sort of underlying issues there you want to talk about? This is not a self-help podcast, Max. I mean, I'm sure, if you want to talk about your vertically challenged problems, I'm your Fraser Crane, mate, but not on the podcast, mate. Save it for afterwards. Came up short, in this match, and fuck.
I'm fuck. Did they? This is. I mean, I know we said we weren't PG, Chris, but Jesus fucking Christ,
mate! Some of the things that go on behind that curtain are definitely not for this show. Okay, we're gonna have a BWP Encore Radio Unleashed, maybe one day, where we'll go into a bit more detail on that, but not tonight, Max.
No,
Dylan Roberts,
I don't think we will. Well, again, that's an issue that only the Red Right Hand can address. We can't really speculate about it on here, can we, Chris, really?
Oh, we can. Oh, yes, we can, Max. That's our job, is to speculate.
Well, yeah, but I have to remain impartial as a referee, Chris. You can say whatever the hell you like. But
Max, as far as I'm concerned, in the ring, you're a
Hold
referee.
on, hold on. I can't, I can't say that. I can't say that. Because I just offered you a bet. And then I just turned around and said, I have to remain impartial. I can't say that.
You stupid idiot. You stupid idiot! That's it, Drill.
Hello.
I'm not being funny, right?
I'm not being funny, right?
Not being funny, right? I can't hear you proper. Your microphone's a bit shit.
Oh, who can't hear properly, me or him?
Not a clue what you said.
You clearly.
Who can't you hear properly, me or Chris?
Ring Chris up.
No. You ask him, Chris.
What?
Ask him who he's not. Well, it's clearly me. He's not hearing me, is he?
I can't hear what you're saying because you're that crackler.
All right.
Fucking straw.
I'm not being funny, right? But my fucking phone's shut. Are you on your phone? Are you on your phone, Grill? No, I'm on my computer.
Alright, that's not bad. It's not bad.
You know,
Jesus Christ.
that's fucking class. I was trying not to laugh. I'm not being funny, right? But I can't hear you. My phone's shit. Are you on your phone or are you on the computer? I'm on my computer. He said his phone was shit, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he said he was on his computer. I can make your mind up. What you want? Tell you what he is on. He's on fucking drugs. He's lacing them pork pies with something.
He sent me a message on here. He says, "What's up, home slice?" What the fuck does that mean?
I've no idea.
Fuck's sake.
I
I was hoping this would be nice and easy.
Hello?
The fuck? He needs to update his Skype.
Well, hasn't he just fucking downloaded it?
I'm not really funny, right? I just fucking downloaded this fucking Skype.
And it's fucking
I
shy.
don't fucking work. It's fucking shy.
I'm going back on my fucking computer.
He says, "Can no one hear me?" Absolutely
No.
not. Absolutely not. I take it he can hear us.
Oh, I would imagine so.
Oh, fuck it all. Oh, I'm not being funny, right? I can't fucking hear anything. It's fucking shite to Skype.
Hello.
Alright.
Alright.
How's it going?
It's alright. I can barely hear you on this, you know.
Have you got... Do I need to ask if you've got your volume turned up?
It is turned up. Shut your face.
So, your second match in the semi-final was against Don Micho. Drill, talk us through that. Specifically, what happened post-match.
Post? What do you mean?
Post. Okay. Let me start again.